You have a message. You want to share that message. You want it to be social, to go viral, and spread across the planet. But how do you get started? Tune into Amplify, featuring host Ken Rochon. This show is here to help you take that message and channel it through the most effective marketing techniques to not only be successful, but have a positive impact on the world. Tune in live
Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
and get amplified.
Welcome, welcome. Big snowy day here. I almost want to have these banners down extra bright in this room because there is snow emitting all kinds of white, beautiful light. So, wow, it is a snowy winter wonderland. We haven't had snow here for 2 years in the DC area. So it's causing all kinds of problems for those that are trying to get out of their house or get on the road to somewhere. But I'm happy that I can just do my show here in the comfort of my dining room. So how are you, Andrea?
Well, I'm doing wonderful. We had the snow that started on Saturday night, so we get it first and then send it your way. And it's pretty fun and pretty. We were supposed to get 7 inches, only got like 2 to 4, and I think it looks absolutely lovely. So there you go.
Yeah, they definitely over exaggerated for us too. They said I think 3 to 6 inches. We got about 2 inches.
Yeah.
So
Well, there you go.
well, there you go. That's not true about Dose of Hope, though. I'll tell you, that book is 800 pages, and it's not predicted to be less than 800 pages. Yep. So if
So
you have
tell
an
everybody
inspiring
about
story,
what we got going on there with Dose of Hope. I'm so excited about it.
well, we are taking on a full year project, which will add up to 10,000 pages. I don't think we have Robert's, but Robert is a bit of an inventor, a scientist, and a problem solver. So we want to attract a lot of mindsets that are actually causing a change in the world, a positive change in the world with better efficiency, better productivity, and just better ideas that bring people together, give them more free time, allow them to have more balance to live a life they love and be with the people they love. So I'm excited about this show, but maybe Robert can steer us to his tribe and community of
Yes, I
people.
just realized that Robert's already with us. Usually, Robert,
Well,
I bring our guests on later in the show,
no, but
but what Ken doesn't
Robert
know,
did the dead raccoon look. I mean, he
I'm
completely
having
froze.
dead raccoon look.
I
Okay.
mean, we
He
saw
looks
it was like a
bloated and everything.
painting. It was like a painting. You were so still, Robert. It was beautiful.
I'm kind of astonished by the beautiful looks of the two of you, so I'm speechless.
Were you at the marketers party, the networking party the other day?
Oh yeah. It was an interesting one. Like it was different than what I expected, but it was a really good one actually.
I think it was really good too.
All of us
Yeah.
expected.
Well, I have
It was
I
a
have
brainstorming party, right?
yeah, I guess so. But I have inside news, and I think I'm allowed to say I talked to Captain Lou yesterday, and apparently there will be a redo so that will be considered more instructional, and the next one will be more of the actual mixer. So they had some internet issues, and those internet issues prevented them from having that connection they wanted to have with all the people on the Zoom call. So it was very legitimate, and so it would be like me doing a Zoom call with you and not seeing you and not maybe hearing you at times and trying to conduct a conversation, which I know is challenging because I've had that happen before. So we before we get you on the show, we do like to do two things: thank our sponsors. We like to definitely do the Robert Palinkas dance, and then we also give your bio. So this is a big deal for us. Every week when we do the Robert Palinkas dance, everyone's
I'm looking forward to find out what the hell that is.
If my son would hear it, he would say, I just heard a cuss word. So.
Well, it kind of sounds like one a little bit there. I don't know.
That's going to beep.
Yeah, one of the reasons I have him on is we were talking about his chapter. So he is a Smile ambassador. We just don't have his story yet because he's in the process of writing it for us.
It's in the future.
So yeah, so
I'm excited to do so. Yeah,
very exciting for everything that we're going to be doing here. So it's quite fun. Oh shoot, I spent so much time talking to you guys and listening to what you're doing. My live on Facebook failed, so let me reboot that. This is one of the things of managing multiple things behind the scenes. Is we got to do multiple things behind the scenes. Wow,
Robert, the last thing we want is for 7
fantastic.
billion people on Facebook not to see the show because the stream doesn't go. So
yeah, because all of them are watching us, obviously.
All of them are watching us
See,
all
that's
over
when
the world.
that's when you know you have a smart guest because he actually knows that that's true. Good job.
Yes, he does know that that's true. So I do want to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors are bees.social, BEES social, and that is a decentralized educational processing system program guaranteed to give you all the in news so that you too can live a crypto technology life and have all the information you need to be able to live in the future financially independent. So super excited about that with the name change of bees.social, now bees.social. And we want to thank, of course, Voice America Influencers Channel, the Red Carpet Connection, the Umbrella Syndicate, Big Events USA, Perfect Publishing, and our charity of choice. We've been talking about the dose of hope is the Keep Smiling Movement. The Keep Smiling Movement is a 501c, and we thrive on donations so that we can then help other people with their mental and dental health by creating smiles, creating a dose of hope, one smile at a time, or many smiles altogether when you have something like the 800-pound, well, I guess 800 page. It's only like 3 pounds.
I always do the same thing. It feels like
Can be
800
for a moment
pounds
there.
compared to a book. Hey, can you
Yeah.
show it sideways so so Robert can see not only the girth, but that he is going to be bringing that many scientists in? It's
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
it's 3
It's
inches.
massive.
Yeah, I mean that's more
Nice.
snow than we got.
I laid it in the ground and the snow was here.
That's how we measure snow now. I
Book
tape
That's
it
how we
up so
measure
that the
snow.
pages don't get ruined, and then I have to
We're like,
untape it so I can
is
read it
this a
again.
dose of hope or not? No, it was not a dose of hope as far as snow, but it was definitely a dose of hope in reading it.
Yeah, so we got about 2/3 of a dose of snow is what we're kind of referring to.
2/3 of a dose of snow is right. Well, let me go ahead and
Actually,
introduce
I'd like to
Robert
add
as
one more
well.
sponsor.
Oh, please.
So since we're in the bees, let's do the Bee Connected as a little bonus today. I
Oh,
thank you
awesome.
for email you sent me that Tanya Hoffman is actually doing a chapter, and she is the owner of Be Connected.
And that's BEE connected.com /
Well, no, connected, KONN. Yes, thank you. Not
Forgot about that
KEN.
part.
A lot of people spell connected with a KEN. Not Robert.
Correct.
Robert knows.
I
Not
would never
Robert.
do that.
Got it.
Hey, where are you calling in from?
I'm in the Netherlands, actually. I'm in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
And
Okay.
I'm kind of stuck here because of the coronavirus thing, but I don't mind being stuck here.
That's
I
a
just
good
want
place
to
to be
move
stuck.
towards the countryside a little bit. I've been traveling full time for almost, like 2-3 years now. And I'm more like a countryside guy. Amsterdam is really nice though, so no complaints.
No,
And
it's beautiful.
there's no snow, so
Oh man, so you must really be sad.
yeah.
Yeah, he laid his book
Can you see that?
outside and there was nothing. There was no snow hope.
Pick it up the way I put it out that night and no snow on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't really need to rush a book out to you, the 800-page book, to measure the snow because there's not really any snow to measure.
Yeah, that's, in Amsterdam here, we use other things to measure snow, not books, but I can join in the party if you send me one.
Okay. Well, you're in for a doozy today because you are such a smart person. I want to show the audience how smart you are by throwing you zingers, like how to really be successful using the ideas that you come up with.
Well, people who know me call me a smartass very often, so I think you are right on the money because I don't think people often think about me as smart, more like what a smartass. So
Smartass has a bit of a compliment to it, and it certainly cannot be confused with dumbass. I mean, that is
okay,
not
it's
the
one
good one.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You're
way
right.
higher. Come on, it's way higher. I mean, it's like the old. Would you rather be pissed off or pissed on? I mean, let's be honest here.
Good one. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on who you're talking to, how they might answer that question. So, but that's a whole nother
I think,
show.
but smartasses would always rather be pissed off. Is my point. I think dumbasses would rather be pissed on.
Yep. You got it.
Well, all right. So we're now taking a poll for those of you who'd rather be pissed off. Please type 1 in the comments. For those of you who'd rather be pissed on, type 2 in the comments. And for those that just joined us live on Facebook and are wondering what the heck are and Andrea and Robert talking about, well, we're talking about a dose of hope and keep
Well,
smiling.
actually, I think it would be if it's you'd rather be pissed off, it'd be 0 because pissed on is number 1 and pooped on is number 2. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so thank you for that correction. That would be, I was going to say grammatically correct, but that would not be the right word either. So yes, that would just be functionally correct.
Yes, functionally correct.
So I wanted to introduce Robert formally. Robert
And
Palinkas
please do.
is a 30-year marketing veteran who went from doing teaching, then innovating, and now changing marketing, starting with the foundations. He believes that marketing should be a useful and welcome service and not an irritating, constant annoyance, interruption, and intrusion in our lives. He is the co-founder of True Social.
Well, I see that there's going to be a big area of disagreement right out of the gate because I think it should be very invasive and very unwelcome. So we are definitely off to a bad start here, Robert.
So
Right,
we
go
are
ahead.
going to have a
We're gonna
very
have the full
controversial
debate.
show. We're going to have a full debate here live on Amplified with Ken Rochon and executive producer Andrea Adams Miller. Okay, so Robert, he is the co-founder of True Social, a B2B business matchmaking service. And we say matchmaking, it's not so that they can fall in love with business leaders together, business to business leader in love, but business to business in love with working together so that they can do amazing, wonderful things in the world. And he also has the Better Internet group, which it aims to create a better, more enjoyable, more private and useful internet for everyone. He believes that marketing should be more human, more sustainable, and it is overdue for a major overhaul, which is what he is working on now and plans to bring us along with him. So I'm so excited, Robert. Woohoo! Normally we would be on a cruise with him somewhere in the middle of the Bahamas or in Mexico. So Ken and I have
Or
traveled
Turks,
parts of the world
Corsico.
with him. Yeah, Aruba, Bahamas,
Oh,
Costa
good times.
Rica.
All
Where else have we
pre-COVID,
done?
right?
So how did you
Yeah.
find out about the Marketers Cruise?
Originally,
Yes.
I was at an event. I don't even remember which one it was because it was so many years ago, but it was just an event. I used to kind of like commute between Europe and the US. And I went to all of these events and got to know all these great people who came also like from all over the world. And someone, it might have been actually Captain Lou who just did the presentation at the event or something like that. And I was like, that sounds great. Like, what could be better? You know, I love cruises. I love marketing. I think I remember that I just decided I'm gonna go like on the spot. It's like not even a question. It was awesome.
That is great. Cool.
Yeah, so we would have set Bon Voyage on Saturday, but we instead are here and we'll be going in November. And for those of you who are watching this and listening to us and you'd like to go on the Internet Marketers Cruise, it is a cruise of 450 plus internet marketers, people who are movers and shakers, influencers and leaders. And we all go on this cruise along with other people that are on the ship, but it is the 400 500 of us that kind of pal around and mastermind. So you can float around on sea and visit all these islands and really talk about work and great fun things while you're having fun together. And it's a tax write-off. So super fun. And if you'd like to join us, go to marketerscruise.com and fill out the form to join us. It's November 6th through the 14th this year, 2021. They're putting all the safety measures in place so that we'll have a really great, wonderful trip. And then please click at the bottom, Andrea Adams Miller as the person who invited you. And that means that Ken Rochon and Andrea Adams Miller have worked in tandem to be able to invite you to come. And what that
And
does
Robert.
is and Robert. And what that does then is when we're all on the cruise, Ken and I will be able to have a great speaking spot so we can share our message of a dose
And
of
Robert's.
hope. So that's why we definitely want you to come on the cruise with us. And we will be mentioning Roberts because part of what he's doing, we're going to be partnering with him in the here to create more wonderful business to business matchmaking opportunities and to help him for a better internet. Because what do we want? Positivity. I feel like, what do we want? Positivity.
So there is a little
cheerleader.
bit of bad news with that comment you made.
Why?
And Robert, you can attest to this, and don't cry. Just seriously nod if it's true.
Let me try.
The Marketers Cruise always sells out.
That's
And
true.
if you wait too long, you will not get to go. I have heard from many people that said, yeah, I'll go. I'm going to go ahead and click that link later, and I'm going to book it. And what happens is they only have so many cabins, and it goes. They have a business model that allows 450, I think it is, or maybe it's 500 marketers on the cruise, and is not to be beyond that for two reasons. One, the cabin size. to the lounge size. They only have so big a lounge to do their educational classes. And those educational classes, just 1 hour in one of those classes could change your life. I think, is that also true, Robert? That you could be at one of those
Absolutely.
classes and you could apply one thing that you heard and it could actually make you possibly six figures, if not
Robert,
five
Yeah.
figures more.
for you, do you have a quick story of a moment that changed your life on the cruise?
It's really hard for me. Like when people ask me about the one thing of anything,
Well,
I have
give your
such a
top.
hard
No,
time
give your
because of,
top. Give your top 30. Your top 30 things in order.
yeah, okay, get some coffee, right?
Or the
This
first one that comes
like
to mind. How about
here's
that?
here's the honest story, right? Instead of answering a question, I'm gonna kind of weasel out of it by answering it in a different way. Because here's the thing, I learned so much, like literally so much. I could not identify a single thing that was the biggest. I'm kind of a researcher type of person. I'm innovator, creative guy, and for me, it's not like I hear something and that becomes the center point on what I'm doing, but everything is a gradual improvement, and that's what I love about the cruise, that it's like you arrive in a certain state and you arrive, the ship spits you out in a much better state than you arrived. And it's a gradual process for me. It's not like the one thing or whatever, but it's like so many gradual, the networking, those sessions. It's like, to me, it's amazing. I love it. And I know that this one might actually sell out faster than usual because we have this cruise hunger now with
Yes, 2
with
years. 2 years of
yeah, it's like,
a bottleneck of
yeah,
in captivity.
I can't wait to go back, to be honest. Not
Well, one of my biggest moments was when it was very special moment. Robert said, "You don't really have any friends. I will be your friend." And I was like, "This is worth the marketer's cruise right there." So just to have Robert as a friend.
how did that happen? I don't remember that.
Well, see, because you have so many friends that didn't really register for you as much. But for me, when you go from 0 friends to 1 friend, it's a big shift.
Doubles your circle
Well, because it
instantly.
multiplied it 100. What 100? What is that? 100 times when it's
It's
doubles
actually
it or
no,
whatever?
from
Oh,
zero.
no,
It's
it
it's
just
almost an
doubles.
infinite amount. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
that's
can't
true.
be actually figured.
Yeah.
No, I wish I had 1 friend before I met you, because then when you were my other friend, I would say I've doubled, but it was
Yeah.
0, so I went to 1. That was amazing.
So my life-changing moment on the cruise, which is very funny, and Ken, I don't know what what yours
No,
would
please
have
don't
normally
copy me.
been.
Please don't copy mine,
Uh,
because
about
Robert said I
Robert.
was the 1 friend that he gave that little deal to.
Well, I don't want to let you know that he said that he'd be my friend first, but I don't want to take that away from you. No, you met him first, so we will definitely give you that. But I met you on that cruise, Ken. So 6 years ago, this
I,
week or the week, but no, a week ago, this would be our sixth anniversary, so to speak, in knowing each other, that we started all of this and that this happened. Now you had
you
already
keep
you
holding it
start.
so that no one sees the smile, and I don't know if that's intentional.
Can't they see it? Oh well, I can't.
It's the light,
If I
the lighting.
hold, I'm working on another page to get all of our stuff shared on Facebook, and
I
because I
see.
use a virtual background, if I hold it up too much, it disappears.
That's true. That is
So
true.
I
Or you
have
have
to be
lips on it.
careful. It has lips on it. Yeah, we were laughing. I was showing him the Zoom features, and I have it brighten my lips and do my eyebrows for fun. So here, watch this, guys. You see the eyebrows on my hands?
Nice.
Yeah. Zoom did
Yeah, so
such
we were
a
playing, so I
mess
left
up
it
job
on
on
because I
the.
thought this is so much fun.
I did a mess
Um,
up.
But had
It's
I
like,
not met Ken, had Ken not met me, 2 months later, when well, actually, it was like only like 5 weeks later, Ken, that you met Barry Shore with the Keep Smiling card, and
Mhm.
decided that I want to make this a movement. And Barry said, "Please do." He sent you over 100,000 of these with your information on the back for your website, so that you could start passing them out as your business card, and then you came to me and said, "Hey, Andrea, help me with this. Let's make this something. I want to make this bigger than ever. I want to change the world." And I said, I'm totally with you. And we've been doing
You
that
getting all
ever
this, Robert?
since,
yeah,
getting all of our life
of course I
dedicated
do.
to it. Yeah.
Hey, Robert.
So it's been amazing.
Yes, it has. And Marketer's Cruise has caused more ripple effects and connections and indirect contacts to abundance that we can possibly calculate. So I do want to say you had an invention, I guess 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, that was really allowing people to do their presentations and see their phone and get all. I mean, are you still using that invention?
Yeah, it's one of those, I'm kind of an inventor. So
Right.
that was like way back then. It's still up there. I still have a website for it, etc. I haven't honestly done anything with it for years now because my main interest is changing the internet. I feel that uh, it's such a massive undertaking, right? That I've been focusing most of my energy on that.
Well, we're going to get to that very quickly because this show is going to be all about that. However, we do need to let the audience know how important you are to us. And that is our way of saying who you are and how you got to be who you are. So, um, I, I guess it's weird, but I feel like I've had you on the show before. It's a deja vu type of situation. You've never been on the show before, right?
Not this one.
Okay.
No, we had, there
No, but
was a
you told
show.
me when we became friends you would never go on another show except for the show. So you went
What?
on another show? You went on another show, is what you're telling me.
I was on, I think it was another one or a similar one that you did earlier, which it was the three of us,
Okay.
and we had like 10 minutes each or so. I'm not sure if it was.
Yeah, so
Uh,
back then when you were on the show, that was it was almost like a compilation book. So yes, it was this show, and
it
now
was the same thing, right?
yeah, it is, but it's
Well,
not the
I
same
think
thing
that's when
because it's
you were the
evolved so
business,
much.
you were business show. I think that was before you became
Yes,
on the influencers channel. So Ken stepped up in the
Mhm.
world, and so we're here
and
now.
as have
Yeah.
you. So back in the business one, it was more like three people, three 20-minute segments, and so now it's full hour
I
or
remember that one.
yes,
We
that's
had
it.
three people on, and I was never this pushy kind of marketer type of person. So there were three people, and I remember two of them speaking for like 55 minutes, and I had like 2 minutes left.
No, you had less. It was actually 14
or
seconds because I remember
or
because
something like that. And I was like,
I said, is there
okay,
anything you
whatever.
want to? I said, is there anything you want to say before we go off the show? And you were like, I hope you have a great year. And I was like, okay, thank you so much for
And thank you so much. You've been listening to Amplified with Ken Rochon.
on the business channel. And yeah, that was fun. So so because that wasn't a lot of time for you to really share who you are, we would like to take 5 minutes or so to talk about who you are from a standpoint of where were you born, what was your childhood like, and what caused you in your childhood to be who you are today. And the rest of the entire segment, which is the bulk of it, way more than 14 seconds, Robert. It's going to be like 27 minutes. We're going to talk about your mission and what your current focus is, and also the technologies that can be put in place in 2021 to make your life more bearable during the pandemic and after the pandemic. How about that?
That sounds good.
So you're born in
Hungary, and
Budapest?
no, and a little town that nobody in the US can pronounce anyway. So I'm not
Please
even gonna
do.
try.
I know you
Nyíregyháza.
can. Say it.
It's called Nyíregyháza.
Nyíregyháza.
I told you that's not it, but it's kind of similar. So anyway, so that's where I was born. It's a town of about 100,000 people or so, and my whole like life was about. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do a good job at it. Right? That was the that was the idea, and with a few
And why
friends.
was that, Robert? Why was that? Was that because of a parent or a mentor or a
I
teacher?
was born with this defect of being a perfectionist, kind of. And yeah, that was a teacher who was a really big influence in my life, Dana Sabo, who is I think I never met a better teacher than him, and he was the music teacher and the choir director and basically the center of life in that primary school that I went to. So I started singing when I was, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 or something. I also played the piano, and and then with my friends we started a little group, a cappella group of 6 people, um, when we were just done with primary school, and I remember that our parents were laughing like, this is not going to go anywhere, because we said, okay, so summer is coming up, but let's meet on the first Sunday of the next year, right here, same place, back in the school, and let's continue this thing. They were saying like, nah, not going to happen. Everybody was there, all 6 of us, and we continued. Actually, the group still exists. It's almost like 30 years later,
Really?
Nice.
and that group is still going. I left the group earlier, but it's still going. And that was my first, let's call it, work experience, like traveling around with an a cappella group, and having concerts and whatnot. I really, really enjoyed it. And the reason I left the group is because um, and this is not to badmouth anything, great guys that we did this together with, but they treated this like a weekend kind of thing, and I wanted to go pro and just do this full time and whatever. Imagine us like 14, 15-year-old guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like trying to go pro, like let's do it as a full-time thing, and we gotta go to whatever high school, the university, and I'm like, what's that for? Like we are good at this. So then I started my own business after a while. Everything I ever done was about pretty much about or centered on marketing, and I realized when we talked about the marketer schools earlier, I realized that I might be on the wrong cruise because I'm actually not a marketer. I don't feel like I'm a marketer, right? Because the marketer is a person who sells stuff. I was actually working on marketing itself all the time, right? So I was interested in innovating, making it better, taking it apart. Like when I was really small, I don't know how many years old, but my parents bought a radio controlled little truck from my brother.
We took it apart.
How did you guess?
Well, because
and I could never put it back.
I remember that part from the show. That was the 14 seconds. Yeah, I remember that part.
I could never put it back again, and
I know.
And that kind of created a little bit of an upset. But I wanted to see how everything worked and how it could be improved, and that was my gig. Like since I've been like this small, right? It's like, how does it work? How do I make it better, right? So that's pretty much the story of my life, including marketing.
That's very good. So we're going to be going to break very soon. I don't want to start the new conversation about what you're up to now, but we're going to go very detailed, and it's going to be way more than 14 seconds. So get ready for this over 14-second ride that we're about to do when we come back from break. Andrea?
Yes, we want to thank our featured sponsor, bees.social. That's BEE. Wait, did I spell that right? BEES.social. First time I'm spelling bees publicly. Apparently, that's a hard thing to do. Bees.social. It is a cryptocurrency decentralized processing education system, letting everybody in the world know that they too can be financially literate in the crypto technology world. And our other sponsors are the Red Carpet Connection, the Umbrella Syndicate, Perfect Publishing, and Voice America. And don't forget our charity of choice. Oh, yes, thank you. We are adding Be Connected on there, beconnected.com. That's B with two E's and a K instead of a C, beconnected.com/keep smiling. And of course, our charity of choice is the keepsmilingmovement.com, the keepsmilingmovement.com. And we accept donations through PayPal. So if you could reach into your PayPal account today, whether it's $1 or 10 million, your precious dollars help create smiles in the people all over the world who especially need them during this COVID situation. So thank you so much, and we'll be back after these messages.
All clear.
So, Robert, you serve nonprofits, is what I understand.
Sorry?
You serve nonprofits?
Well, I'm starting one.
Okay, and, so we can add your nonprofit to the show.
And just so you know, we're still live, everyone,
I know.
on Facebook, even though I'm letting Robert know. So thank you.
We always know that. So thank you. And Robert, how do you pronounce, say the name of the city you were born in again in Hungary, please? It's
Nyíregyháza.
Nyíregyháza?
Yeah.
Closer?
That was much better, yeah.
No, I mean, I know.
Nyíregyháza?
Yeah.
No, Nyíregyháza.
Yeah. That was pretty good, actually. I think they make this just hard to pronounce. So just
at least I've been to Hungary before.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
I've been hungry, but not been.
I actually had a water sandwich because I'm trying to cut back for a pandemic.
All right, here you
Smelled
go.
it from the snow.
Don't eat snow. It's not good for you.
This is Amplify. To reach the show today, please call 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. We also would love to hear from you via email to info@umbrellasyndicate.com. Now, back to Amplify.
Welcome back to a second segment, and a powerful segment because we're going to learn all kinds of wonderful things on how to hack, improve, be more efficient, more productive, and have a bigger impact in the world. So we are so excited to be talking with Robert, and he is going to share some of the things that he is working on that will help you have a better 2021. So Robert, before you go and eat snow, not that there's any snow in the Netherlands, but people need to know, that when the ice forms on the gutters from the roof and you take that icicle and you eat it, you're eating bird poop, because there's all that bird poop that was in the gutters and also in the roof that slides down with the snow and becomes an icicle. And for that matter, anything that you're eating like snow is just not as healthy as it was back in the day. So,
Might still be healthier than anything in the supermarket.
well, you are my favorite kind of person in the world. And I say that sincerely to you because you're a person that actually focuses on solving a problem in the world, and you solve a problem with integrity. And what that means is you're not trying to fix something and not fix it and then try and sell it. You actually show that you can fix something and make it better and make someone's life better. So, in all sincerity, thank you. And thank you for being on the show. I know that you always make things happen, and you certainly have proven that again today. So, let's talk about your vision and what is the most important thing that you'd like to share with the audience with regard to your focus and your purpose.
It is this thing that I think it's overdue to be fixed, because the internet has become the most important communication network in the world, and it's majorly flawed. And if I would
in what ways? Let's go first into that. In what ways
Yeah.
is it flawed? So people understand if they didn't understand how it's flawed.
Yeah, I want to be very clear about that, because that's the main reason why I'm doing everything I'm doing. If I would write a book, I think the subtitle would be "The Entire Internet is Built on a Big Lie." And by the way, everything you know about marketing is wrong. And here's how that is. So, actually,
There's one problem with that, Robert. Is if
there's two.
Well, yes, there are at least two problems with that. But one problem is
two.
if I listened to you and you told me the truth, then it wouldn't be everything I knew was a lie.
Well, that's a little bit of a logical conundrum, isn't it?
It is.
So
And
let's get to
bravo.
the bottom of that. So actually, let's just do a very quick thought experiment here. So I'll tell you that actually the biggest two things that are wrong with the internet is the cause. It's just two things, but those two things are the cause of everything that you see and experience every day that is really wrong with it, right? So just why don't each of you tell me one thing that you really hate about the internet really quickly, and I show you how it goes back to those two things that I'm going to tell you in a second.
Well, I will go first, and I will say that I already know how it does. So the internet can spread lies and become a new reality that causes people to either have fear or to make bad decisions in their life.
Okay, and Andrea?
That the information that we see when we look it up shows up based on other people's ideas on marketing, on what they want us to see rather than what we choose to see. And so even if we're digging and researching, we still may not reveal the things that we're looking for. We only reveal what is being shown to us.
Yeah, very true, both of those. Now, the two things that, in my opinion, are wrong with the internet is, number one, that there is a complete false economy based on attention. And I'll have to explain a little bit, just in a few sentences, what that means. Is that what is being sold to advertisers is our attention, right? But the problem with that is that while big companies, like Facebook, Google, etc., are being incentivized to sell attention to advertisers, that's not the right product. Because what's the value of an advertiser showing an ad to someone who doesn't care about it, is not interested, and actually just annoyed by that ad, right?
Can I stop you for a second?
Of course.
Okay, so the word attention, is it synonymous with engagement?
No, it's very different, actually.
Okay,
and I have solutions for this. So I'm not just like saying like, oh, everything is bad, everything is wrong. But attention is the wrong thing to sell. We have attention when we look at something, but it doesn't mean we want to pay attention to something else showing up next to it. And the entire false economy that is built around this desire for attention is what's messing up so many things in so many ways. Just to give you a few examples. So
no,
if you are looking,
no, you haven't given an example yet. Give me an example of what that means.
So let's say that you are looking, you just go to Facebook because you want to check up on friends, what's happening in your Facebook groups, etc. And there is an ad for a coffee maker, right? So Facebook is trying to be relevant with ads and all these things. Like, here's what that means. And it goes really deep. This is a big rabbit hole, right? They are selling your attention looking at the page. How valuable is that to a company who wants to advertise their coffee maker when you're not interested in a coffee maker at all whatsoever, right? So what they do is that, okay, we realize that our product is not really good. So we try to fix this by spying on everybody, tracking everybody, like basically intruding into your life as deep as we can to try to build a profile about you and figure out what your interests are. Problem is, it's not there. There is no data or algorithms that can tell what a person is actually interested in. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. No.
Really?
It's a fake.
Okay,
look at
well,
it. Like,
this is going to be beyond my logic, that I would have actually assumed that whatever you're looking for, the algorithm is actually with AI showing that you care about this. So let me show you more of this.
yeah, it's a redefinition of words. That's what it is. Because, like, take the word relevant. Relevant to whom or to what moment? Like, these companies redefine these words like relevant. So they say, we collect data so we can show you more relevant ads. So if I'm looking for a coffee maker, for example, is an ad for a dog collar relevant? No, it's not. It's not relevant, because relevant means what I'm doing at the moment would be the right moment to talk about something like a dog collar, but it's not, because I'm looking for a coffee maker, right? Or I'm trying to talk to my friends. It's not
But
relevant.
companies like Bezos are using what you're calling no relevancy and making billions. So can you speak to that?
Oh yeah, making billions is not a problem. That's very easy, because every business wants attention. That's what incentivizes these companies that sell your attention, because businesses are very happy to pay them, right? So that leads us to the second problem, and we can go deeper. I just don't want to use up all the time with this one point, right?
That's fine. That's fine. Thank
But
you.
here's the second point. There is no infrastructure for what would be right, which would be a free internet, where it's more like a negotiation as opposed to one side pushing its will on everybody else, right? So the internet should be a free marketplace where I can decide what I give my attention to. I can decide what I watch, what I don't want to watch. I can choose if I provide my personal information to someone. I can choose if I let somebody to track me or not. That's not that. There's no infrastructure for that, right? So what is there an infrastructure for? For the traditional model, which is let's just grab everyone's attention and try to spam them with everything, right?
Okay, so two things. One is there's obviously money being made by somebody to have the infrastructure the way it is. So to some degree, your life is at risk if you disrupt something like that, and the people that have money say, "I don't like this person." Right? That's one thing.
Oh, of course.
Of course,
I'm fine with that one. Like, the thing is that if you think about it, the whole thing started the way every business starts. Someone has some resources that they want to turn into money, right?
Right.
So let's Facebook as an example. I'm not hating them. I like Facebook. They are doing great things. I just hate something that they are doing, one kind of thing that they are doing. So they ended up building this big platform, and they end up with a lot of attention. That's why everybody's buying attention, because they had a lot of it. So they turn it into a product. There's no infrastructure for interest. That would be the right product for advertisers, but there's no infrastructure, right?
So Robert, you are speaking a language you understand, and on some level I do understand as well. Our audience may not understand the distinction. So if you could say, this is the way it is, and this is the way I believe it could be, or this is the way I've actually solved it to be, and give that distinction, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say that you are looking at a website, and the website says, I want to present an ad because I get paid for it, right? They are selling something to that business that is different from what that business needs. And if you look at the way that ad works, 99.9% of the time, people are only annoyed by it, but they're not interested. So that's the problem, right? So you have to put that ad in front of 999 annoyed people to find one who's interested, right? So That is the problem. What will be the solution? That's what I have been researching and working on for the last 4 years, literally every day of my life. Businesses should only be talking to people who are interested and qualified, the 1% and not the 999. I call that the first contact problem because it's a catch-22. How do you only talk to people who are qualified and interested without first talking to them to find out if they are qualified and interested, right? That's the catch-22. So how do you solve that, right? And there are solutions, but we are not at the solution part yet. So the problem and the distinction that you're asking about is that if there was a way to only show that ad to the person for whom it's really relevant and not Facebook says it's relevant, right? Because they have this newspeak, where relevant means we get paid for it, right? So we are showing it to you because it's relevant. And the solution is to create a completely different kind of marketing where we have the means, we have the tools, we have the way to only talk to people about our offer who are actually listening, as opposed to trying to spam everybody else. And we have been sold a bill of goods where we are taught that that's not possible. We have to put up with this attention-based advertising because that's what these large corporations have. That's what they have for sale. So they're literally trying to block everybody who is trying to build an alternate infrastructure. It's not in their best interest. They don't want you to build a better way. They don't want you to come up with a better solution because then what do they do with the attention inventory, right?
Well, let me cut in for a second. So I'm not on the board at Facebook and I don't hear what they're thinking, but I would assume a couple of things. So one thing I would assume is that their marketing sales strategy has a lot to do with big numbers. So when you say you can reach 30,000 people, that sounds better than 3 qualified people.
Yeah, and that's the bill of goods we are sold, right?
Right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So,
because
but
it doesn't
there's
work.
another problem. There's one more problem to this. I wouldn't call it a problem. One more aspect to this is the 29,997 people that did not necessarily care about that in the moment. They are being programmed on some level, subconscious even, that it's available when they do need it. That's one. And two, let me forward it over to Robert because Robert actually needs this and I don't.
Yeah, that's what would happen in theory. But even if you take a good thing, and that would be a good thing in theory, but if you take it to an extreme, it becomes not only not useful, but it becomes harmful. The latest statistic is that we see 6,000 to 10,000 commercial impression, like ad impressions per day. How many do we act on? How many even register, right?
Yeah, it's
if you do that,
0.0001, right?
it doesn't work. But it doesn't only have the intended effect; it also has side effects. So those side effects are much worse than the little marginal effect that they actually do.
So what are
achieve.
those side effects? Because I know it's programming and I know it's imprinting a brand, and at some level that brand becomes relevant to either cool or to influencers or whatever. So tell me what the side effect is.
Well, the answer might surprise you because the side effects don't come directly; they come indirectly. One of the biggest and worst side effects is that since this works at such a low efficiency, 999 people out of 1,000 don't care about it. These companies are trying to fix this problem by spying on you. So the spying and tracking itself is a side effect because they're trying to improve it. And there was a research I read recently, and I don't remember where this basically corporations spying on every single person on the planet. All that spying increases the efficiency of advertising by 4%. That's what all the fuss is about. 4%. That's nothing, right? So all that.
But it's infinitely higher than it was, though.
Well, 4% higher. that's the actual fact, right?
But I thought it was very low before that, extremely low.
Well, 4% is 4%, no matter how you slice or dice it, right?
Well,
they compared completely random advertising with targeted ones, and it was a 4% difference.
Okay, I guess I'm talking about the 4% relevant to what it was. So let's say it was only 1% effective before.
No. Like if you project that to 1,000,
okay,
like out of 1,000, it's not 999, but now it's
so you're
what
getting
40 more. You are getting 40 more people, and only end up with 960 annoyed people who are absolutely not interested in anything you're saying, right? So all that spying is like, most people are not even aware how intrusive it is and how deep it goes, right? Like, I checked some logs of what an Android phone does, for example, and the logs had entries like drove to this place, then exited car and walked from here to there. Like, that's the level of tracking that is going on. Or people think that, when you're on Facebook and they collect personal data about you, that's about the things you're doing on Facebook. No. The Facebook pixel, as we marketers know, is on most websites that amount to anything. So Facebook knows your entire browser history. It's like downloading your browser history and just sending it off to Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes really deep. So basically, you're being spied on every move. And that is just one side effect of this attention-based advertising.
Yeah,
right?
and it can be easily manipulated. There's documentaries that show that there's targeted ads that actually have you believe a different thing because they actually found out you believe something that they don't want you to believe anymore. So yes,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. And the result is like, look at what ads you are seeing. Like, are those ads that you are seeing personally relevant most of the time?
No. Well,
That's
actually,
the point.
there's a lot of marketing ads that I see actually on Facebook.
And I don't mean that you're not gonna see relevant ads, but that relevance is kind of it's a buzzword, right, in the advertising world. But my question would go a little deeper than that. Like, are those ads about something that you actually want to get or buy or do, or mostly they are just in the generic category of the same thing, but you still don't have any actual interest in them?
Well, if you're asking me, I'll say that I will not please you in this particular one because most of the ads that I see on Facebook are actually very directly related to leadership or mainly marketing, how to be more effective as a marketer. So they've got me dialed in pretty well.
Okay, and it's not disappointing for me because I don't question that this stuff actually works a lot of the time. I'm just concerned about the price we are paying for it.
Yes,
right?
and I agree with you. That part is why I said I would love to agree with you, but in this spine is obviously the expense. It's the give you have to you don't even know you're giving.
Yeah, and you know what, the biggest thing for me, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because there is a better way to do this, and it would be, just one example, interest-based marketing, where you manage to talk to a lot more people who are interested and a lot fewer who are not.
Well, tell you what, we're going to go all the way into your solutions at this point for about 5 minutes and get as detailed as you possibly can. Then we're going to go into something called rapid fire, as you know, where we ask you things that have changed your life. So go for it. Tell us what you're up to. Tell us how you
I
can.
do have a quick
Yes.
question though, Ken. Robert has another project that we haven't even talked about that
That's what
actually
I
is
want to hear
directly
about.
related to us. So yeah, so can we shift to that one, Robert, talk about the B2B matchmaking?
Sure. It's built on the same principles because I connect these things very very closely. So
Right.
what B2B matchmaking is a different approach where we take these principles that I'm talking about here and we turn them into practice. And what that means is that people won't really reveal their actual interest to machines or websites or whatnot. So that's why interest is so hard to target, right? Because people don't just go around sharing like, hey, I want to buy a new coffee maker or these kind of things. That's not available to websites or marketers or whoever would love to have it. And what we discovered is that people actually love to talk people love to make connections, people love to network. And when they do disclose these things. So for example, if either one of you would be trying to build a new website, it might come up in conversation, right? So what we built is a platform that mimics what successful networkers already do, which is that if they need something, they start looking in their network first, as opposed to just going into a search engine or whatever. So, what do you do when you need something? You say, okay, so do I know anyone who does that, right? And so it's a B2B matchmaking service where we create a new job title called the business matchmaker. And those are people who are good at networking, they love network, and they talk to people, and that's really what they do. And once they discover a need, they connect that person with another person in their network using our platform or in our network even, and they can get paid for doing that. So it's like making money networking, but without selling anything. And the benefit
Which
is that you
so exciting. Yeah, please. The benefit. Go ahead.
yeah, the benefit is that you start with the need and the want, which you discover in normal human conversation. If there's no need, there is nothing that that person wants at the moment, it's fine. You don't need to sell anything. And it separates the sales from the prospecting part, because you find out about what people need and want if you just talk to them as a real human being, as opposed
Well,
to
we're
trying to
excited about that because Ken and I are really connected with a lot of people, and so when we're looking for something, we go through our list. Like right now, I'm wanting to redo our Keep Smiling site specifically on Groove, which was called Groove Funnels before, and I want to use that because I own or have a license to use that product. And so now I'm specifically went to them and finding those people. Ken and I are, looking for different people to inspire smiles in the world with us for the Keep Smiling movement. So we want people with awesome stories who are influencers, movers and shakers who have a good outreach to help us spread smiles throughout the world through their stories. So I love that you have this product where we actually can build upon that relationship capital, and all of the people are able to monetize it. So we get something we need and they're paid for it, or there's some kind of barter, but we all have some kind of a tangible or intangible asset that means something to us in our connection. So that sounds like a great service.
Well, it's rapid fire time, and we need to put some links, I guess, at the end of the show so people can actually investigate and not be spied on for investigating how great your solutions are. So we have a very short rapid fire. So what is a movie that inspires you?
That's a tough one. You actually sent me that question, and I was thinking about it. I cannot answer that question. For me, it's the flavor of the month.
Okay, and what is the book that changed your life?
One of my absolute favorite ones was actually, it's on personal growth, and I'm trying to remember the title. It's called The Untethered Soul by
Untethered Soul. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome book, really good.
And then I want to know the song that gets you jazzed up. What's the song that you play when you want to get moving?
I take my phone. I have about 4,000 songs, and I put it on random.
All right, what's the song?
And I always get the good one.
So if you're going to get paid a lot of money right now to sing, what song would you sing?
I would probably shy out of that one, but
well, you were singing back in the day. That's why I asked.
I know.
Question.
I know. I would.
Well, who's your favorite singer then?
My favorite singers are like a cappella groups mostly. I love a cappella.
Yeah.
So
I can tell.
I would take something from the King Singers, and their current setup is awesome. Like, I think they are the best they ever been. So there was this song I saw with the King Singers and the Stay at Home Choir, whatever it was. Find it. That's awesome. That's one of my current favorites.
Okay, well, let's hear your favorite quote, and then we're going to unfortunately have a full hour. What is your favorite quote that you live by?
Yeah, I know I'm giving you a hard time today, but I don't have a favorite quote.
You're a scientist. And
yeah,
scientists do give people a hard time.
See, the thing with this one best favorite whatever is that I always want to grow. I'm gradual.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you latitude. When you send your chapter in, you can break the rule and say these are my favorites and get as many as you possibly can in, because we do that for people that are not only indecisive but actually have a lot of great answers. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrea. You have been amplified again, and thank you for staying more than 14 seconds, and thank you for being a wonderful leader and scientist.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
it was a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of Amplified. Be sure to join Ken Rochon
again next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 8 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Now, go get your message heard.